Hey everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I thought I'd start this video before I got myself too far along and missed out on certain aspects of this particular build that might be helpful to others. And it's not about the Wand Tricorder. I finally got it, and boy, what a beautiful piece of equipment it is. But as I said, this video is not about this because there's plenty of videos out there talking about this. So not going to be focusing on that. What I'm focusing on is the Diamond Select medical scanner that came with my old Diamond Select tricorder that I started back in 2009. And here, let me get up close. There we go. This video that it's running right now, I did myself from a still that was on this particular item that I put into Photoshop, broke down all the various elements, and animated it through a program called After Effects. Anybody that does video editing using Adobe Premiere and had the Adobe Suites, Creative Suites, knows After Effects and what a beautiful program that is. Anyways, did this back in '09. Definitely this is far superior to it, but one thing that was missing was the medical scanner. So I'm going to be updating this guy to enhance this, and that's what this video is about, is what I'm going to do to this. So let me stop this video, clear off my bench, and I'll start showing you what I'm doing. Hold on. Well, I got the Diamond Select medical scanners done and had hoped I could get away with just using a very small DC brushed motor with a planetary gear head on the end and just dialing in the voltage till I got the speed approximately where I wanted it to be in the end. The advantage to doing this approach was all I needed was a small, here, let's take off the bottom here. All I needed was a small boost regulator that would take the 3.7 volts from the battery and step it up to, it worked out about 6 volts for the motor to spin where I thought it looked fairly accurate. That, along with a capacitive switch to allow me to get away with this approach on the push button. Couldn't find a push button that had this brass or bronze dome. So I had to go over and get some, I think this is kind of like I don't know what you'd call it, one of those little paper holders that you put through and you bend the legs out. I cut it down, but glued it in place. It couldn't move, so I had to use the capacitive switch to get the effect. And then I also added a sound card, which had to be cut way down to fit in here. Everything fit in there really nice. And I printed out the base for a place to mount my speaker and the magnets that were going to work in conjunction with these magnets to seal the bad boy up. Still have to find a material that I can cover this with that's acoustically transparent, but you won't be able to see these holes. Haven't found that yet, but I'm still looking. Anyways, I thought I was really going to get away with this inexpensive approach, and that didn't quite happen, because when I got the motor in there and foolishly glued the halves together, I used it, and that's just way too loud. Oh, also, I added some LEDs in the bottom to kind of make it a little bit more interesting, in conjunction with using a piece of plastic tubing with a light pipe going down the center and reflective material behind to kind of enhance the effect. Here, let's turn off the lights and give you a better look at how it is. I think that turned out okay. I really couldn't do any further harm to this prop because it's just so inaccurate. It's not like I'm really breaking any rules, because it was already just not correct for what I wanted. But it would fill the gap for right now, because I wasn't going to spend $400 for the one that's available online, even though it's as nice as it is. I just don't want to spend that kind of money. So anyways, that was not acceptable. So I built up my next one. And this one, I used a stepper motor, but the problem initially was using stepper motor. I had a step stick that I used for the motor drive, and that's a simple 4988 driver with logic on board, and all you need to do is send in a pulse. So I was going to use, well, I did use on this particular prototype a Arduino. Here, oh, let's turn the lights back on. A Arduino. Okay, why are you not? Hold on. I used a Arduino to generate the necessary pulse, and I had a little potentiometer down here that I could precisely vary the speed and dial the motor in. So this was the ultimate approach. Unfortunately, I didn't realize until after I got it in the prop, this time keeping it still split in half, that when I put the sound card in, it was going to have a delay of about a second to a second and a half before the motor started spinning, even though the sound was instantaneous. So I had to get rid of the processor and go to something a little bit less, let's say, sophisticated. So what I did was, still using the step stick, I used one of these little proto boards that allow you to, it's actually an adapter board. It allows you to take various surface mount components and put them on a tent center breadboard. I buy these boards and make little circuits on them because they're great for doing little circuits that are built around 8-pin dips. So I made a little 555 pulse generator with a pot that I could adjust the speed. Much better, because as soon as you turn on the power, the motor would spin and the sound would play. And so the processor had to go. And I think it was for the better, because this definitely is a lot quieter. And again, let's turn off the lights so we can see the effect. So anyways, I just wanted something to go in my my new tricorder, and this will fit the bill. I also took advantage of the STL files that were out there for a nice little base, so that I can put it in my display case along with the tricorder. But when I'm out investigating enemy planets and alien foliage, I've got this in the bottom of the tricorder in case somebody gets a head cold or something. So project done. Move down to the next one. I hope you guys all have a great day, and see you next time. Bye. I forgot to show here. Let's see if we can get in there. The one downside to the stepper, it takes a lot more electronics to make that motor move. So she's packed pretty tight, but everything works great. Again, use the magnets to hold everything in place, and hopefully I can find a nice acoustically transparent material that I can put over this so that you don't see the holes. But yeah, not bad, not bad. Oh, in addition, I had to do something better than what was originally given with the prop. This cover is horrible. I've got some sort of, it looks like molten plastic. The molding was really horrid. So I found some nice clear tubing on Amazon and just used a small pipe cutter to cut out the piece the size that I needed, and again found on Amazon a company that sold clear discs that are the perfect diameter. So yeah, this turned out very nice. I'm sorry I showed you the wrong one. This is the right one here. There we go. That turned out just perfect. So very happy with this, even though it's not even close to being accurate for the time being, until I find a less expensive version of a medical scanner. This will have to do. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.